96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The government working on human rights bills, marital rape, citizenship issues to be addressed. The Catholic Archbishop supporting criminalizing marital rape. And Controversy Week continues here on Morning Blend. Today we are talking about abortion, getting both sides of the debate. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we're talking with BTC. They've got some interesting rates that they're going to tell us about. And we'll get a preview of the National Spelling Bee. Just days away now. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the cabinet will review proposed legislation that aims to criminalize marital rape and bring gender equality to the Bahamas' citizenship laws. That's according to Attorney General Ryan Pinder, who says that cabinet will make a decision on which of the more than 20 amended and new pieces of legislation to move forward with. Pinder says the Davis administration wants to ensure the Bahamas meets its agreed commitments under United Nations conventions. He says the recommendations will bring about a good governance, including establishing an ombudsman, freedom of information, and he says others have to do with gender-based violence matters. Pinder says the issue of asylum will also be addressed. He says, quote, "It's an all-encompassing new piece of legislation that the former administration had worked on. We've taken a look at it, we've refined it, and we provided some different options on how we might want to implement it to go to cabinet." Pinder says a cabinet paper was prepared on the package of proposed legislative changes. He says the public will be consulted once it goes before the cabinet. Pinder says the government is attempting to meet international commitments before going to the United Nations Human Rights Council in February 2023. Catholic Archbishop Patrick Pinder expressing support for criminalizing marital rape, noting that forced sexual activity within a marriage is a distortion of the biblical understanding of marriage. He said, quote, "This relationship is one of the Complementary, not ownership. No person can be in the possession of another. Human dignity does not allow this. The legacy of slavery and its abolition has surely taught us this lesson. It is from this perspective that the Catholic Church in the Bahamas addresses the proposed legislation amending the Sexual Offenses Act. When an individual is forced to engage in sexual activity against his or her will, the perpetrator does violence to the dignity and value of the human person created in the image and likeness of God. Meanwhile, the Bahamas Christian Council and its president, Bishop Delton Fernandez, says the council is re-evaluating its stance on the criminalization of marital rape following recent comments by National Security Minister Wayne Monroe. Fernandez says that while the BCC agrees with Prime Minister Philip Davis that his recent assertion that rape is rape, the council wants to preserve the sanctity of marriage. Fernandez telling the Nassau Guardian, quote, "We want to preserve the sanctity of marriage and we want to protect those who might be raped because it is true that rape is rape. And so it's a difficult walk because we have the church, and that is holy and sacred to us, and we do have a divided body on the matter." Last week, National Security Minister Monroe said that if the goal is to get convictions, the offense should be called something other than rape. A man who stabbed his grandmother to death and injured his mother with a knife, sentenced to 15 years in prison as part of a plea deal. 30-year-old Rico Pratt was initially charged with the murder of his grandmother, Jelena Pratt, and the attempted murder of his mother, Anithra Pratt. However, Pratt pleaded guilty to the reduced charges of manslaughter and causing dangerous harm after he assured Senior Justice Bernard Turner that he had entered the plea agreement voluntarily. With credit for time spent on remand, Pratt has 13 years, 8 months, and 3 weeks remaining on his sentence. And University of the Bahamas Board of Trustees chairperson Alison Maynard Gibson announcing that Dr. Eric Rowland has been selected as the new president of the university. She said the appointment takes effect on August 1st of this year. She said Rowland has the qualifications, experience, and skills to meet mission-critical objectives, namely the knowledge, insights, and experience to achieve international accreditation. She said Rowland has the vision and competence to implement sustainable financial and operational models for fundraising and the capability to integrate 21st century technology modalities throughout the institution. Meanwhile, the union at UB, the UTEB, Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas, criticizing the decision of the board, saying that its choice of a non-Bahamian was, quote, wrong and terrible. Among the 3 shortlisted finalists for president, only one was a Bahamian. President of UB North, Dr. Ian Strachan. UTEB President Daniel Thompson, who was contacted for comment, said the board's decision was a, quote, slap in the face. He said, quote, "We've lobbied and we have done all that we can to express our support of the Bahamianization of the leadership of the university. It's a very sad day for the Bahamas in that regard, that with almost 50 years of independence, we find it necessary to appoint a foreigner while there were adequately qualified Bahamians." He said the union is, quote, "very disappointed in the decision to appoint Dr. Rowland, an American scholar, over Dr. Ian Strachan, a Bahamian scholar." And Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville defending the government's decision to relax the COVID mask mandate for hotels while keeping the mandate in place for other businesses in the Bahamas. Darville saying yesterday, quote, "We don't think it's discriminatory. Our EOC, Emergency Operations Committee, made a decision based on the vaccination rate of visitors in our hotels and the testing requirements to enter the country. One of the things that is so difficult to do is to juggle and balance commerce versus safety." Overseas, Russia's military forces blasted Ukraine's capital region and other major cities today as they tried to crush a Ukrainian defense that has frustrated their progress nearly 3 weeks after invading. With Russia's ground advance on Kyiv stalled despite the sustained bombardment, glimmers of optimism emerged that talks between the two sides could make progress. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says a neutral military status for Ukraine was being seriously discussed at the business-like talks, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described Russia's demands for ending the war as becoming, quote, more realistic. Zelensky said Russian forces had been unable to move deeper into Ukrainian territory, but had continued their heavy shelling of cities. Kyiv residents huddled in homes and shelters amid a citywide curfew that runs until Thursday morning as Russia rained shells on areas in and around the city. A 12-story apartment building in the central part of the city erupted in flames after being hit by shrapnel. And from the United States, the Senate unanimously approving a measure that would make daylight saving time permanent across the United States next year. The bipartisan bill, named the Sunshine Protection Act, would ensure Americans would no longer have to change their clocks twice a year, but the bill still needs approval from the House and the signature of U.S. President Joe Biden to become law. Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts, the original co-sponsor of the legislation, saying, quote, "No more switching clocks, no more daylight hours to spend outside after school and after work, and more smiles. That is what we get with permanent daylight saving time." Markey was joined on the chamber floor by senators from both parties as they made the case for how making daylight saving time permanent would have positive effects on public health and the economy, and even cut energy consumption. Republican Senator Rick Scott of Florida saying, quote, "Changing the clock twice a year is outdated and unnecessary. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Americans want more sunshine and less depression. People in this country all the way from Seattle to Miami want the Sunshine Protection Act." And that, according to Senator Patty Murray of Washington. In sports, 5 Olympians will be competing for the Bahamas at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Belgrade, Serbia. That gets underway this weekend. Action gets underway on Friday and wraps up on Sunday. This is the first World Indoor Championships in athletics in 4 years. Reigning Olympic champion in the women's 400 meters, Shanae Miller-Uibo, will lead the 5-member team competing in that event. Also competing in the women's 400 meters for the Bahamas, Megan Moss, who just completed the NCAA Division I Indoor Championships this past weekend for the University of Kentucky Wildcats. The 6th place finisher in the women's 100 meters hurdles at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, and Wildcats volunteer coach Devin Charlton representing the Bahamas in the 60-meter hurdles. And rounding out the Bahamian women is sprinter Anthony Strachan, who made it to the semifinal rounds of the 200 meters at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. She'll be running in the 60-meter dash. The only male athlete on the team is veteran height jumper and 4-time Olympian Donald Thomas. The head coach is David Charlton, the team manager Laura Pratt-Charlton, and the COVID liaison officer is Foster Dorsett. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And from the NBA, turns out March has more madness than just college basketball. The NBA is getting a taste of it as well. Kyrie Irving's 60-point barrage at Orlando Tuesday night was the 7th 50-point effort in the league so far this month, with half of March still remaining. His career best performance came one night after Minnesota's Karl Anthony Towns scored a career-high 60, a number nobody in the league had reached this season until this week. Even Kevin Durant, one of the most elite scorers ever, someone who had 53 in Brooklyn's win over New York on Sunday, is marveling at what's happening right now. Durant saying, quote, 60, the night after Karl Towns had an incredible performance, and then to have Kyrie do it the next night. The league is in an amazing place right now. All of March has been a showcase for the elite ones. March's 7 50-point games have come in a span of 11 days. LeBron James started it on March 5th by scoring 56 for the LA Lakers against Golden State. Jason Tatum had 54 points for Boston one day after against Brooklyn. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got the remnants of a frontal boundary that's going to meander to our north, triggering periodic bouts of unsettled weather across portions of the northwest Bahamas. Meanwhile, a high-pressure ridge building across the area will sustain moderate to fresh breezes across the country through tonight. Got some special warnings, though. Boaters in the extreme northwest Bahamas should be exercising caution due to the threat of possible waterspout activity, and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents, mainly across eastern and Atlantic coastlines. For the northwest and central Bahamas today, we're looking at variably cloudy, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the extreme northwest Bahamas, turning warm tonight. For boaters, a small craft caution's in effect for Atlantic exposures due to swells. Expect gusty winds and higher seas, in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Wind southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, but gusty at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet, building up to 6 feet in light easterly swells along Atlantic exposures. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, warm, and breezy, with a chance of a few light passing showers, becoming fair and mild tonight. A small craft caution is in effect. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet. It's currently 73 degrees right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years with new ways to bank better. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future with new products and services and investment in the community, youth, and education initiatives. We are here to help you grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Rent, landlords, I am ready to build.
Yes, home ownership is a big deal, so move in merrily with CIBC First Caribbean. With your new mortgage, you'll get half off the appraisal cost, commitment fee, and more. Enjoy up to 95% financing and a homeowner benefits card to save at selected hardware, furniture, and appliance stores.
We moved in.
Merrily. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/move merrily for details.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic, your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards. Chester Robards, good morning. Happy Wednesday to you.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Hope you're doing well.
Good.
Wonderful. A lot to talk
Blessed
about.
to be alive.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. A lot to talk about. I'm very happy. This morning, a lot to get to. We're going to get into all of that. Also this morning, Controversy Week continues. Day 2 of Controversy Week. Yesterday, we talked about marital rape, and the conversation's heating up now. We're going to get into this in a bit, with the government saying it's working on some bills, human rights bills. And the Catholic Church, the Catholic Archbishop, calling for the criminalization of marital rape. And the Christian Council, though, saying it needs to review its position. Oh, okay. But yeah, so while that's happening, we had that discussion yesterday. Today we are talking about another controversial issue, abortion. And we're getting both sides of that debate today. And a lot more of this throughout the week here as Controversy Week continues. Later in Morning Blend Business, BTC has some interesting things happening, including some rate adjustments. They're going to tell us all about that. And we'll get a preview of the National Spelling Bee, which is this weekend. A lot going on, a lot to talk about. Let's begin with what's in the news. And in the news, lots of big stories, lots of little stories, a lot to talk about. This is one of those days when you wish you had 5 hours of show. But let's see how quickly we can get through all of this. So I think one of the big stories is what happened in the U.S. yesterday. And this is going to definitely change our lives here because, whatever they do over there. But this is one of the good times when what they do there is great. I have been talking about this, Chester, for how long? Every time the time changes, we have this discussion on the show about how ridiculous it is to be changing and how we need permanent daylight saving time. Some people prefer standard time, but those people aren't thinking well. They aren't thinking with their heads. But daylight time is the one. And the U.S. Senate voted for permanent daylight time. It still has to pass through the House and for the president to sign it. But the Senate approved a bill to make daylight saving time permanent, unanimously approving the measure yesterday. And that would begin next year. So next year, 2023, in the fall, you would not fall back. You would stay going forward with daylight time, and the sun won't set at 5:30 as soon as you get off work. You open the door to darkness. No, you still have some time to get home. And
That's unfortunate.
what now? What did you say?
What?
What did you say, sir? No, please don't tell me you're one of these.
I enjoy the darkness.
The dark evenings?
Yeah.
So you're upset that it's dark outside right now?
I'm not upset. Well,
You'd prefer for it to be bright and sunny?
because I'm one of those people who like to go running in the mornings. I enjoy
Running
that
in the
sun.
morning in the dark is the best thing? I don't understand. What?
No, it's not.
No? Okay. Well, I prefer it to being bright. A little light, right just as
Yeah.
the sun is coming up. So you
But I
can-
get it. You know?
But running in the evening is cool too, with the more time. No, let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. Where do you stand? I mean, it doesn't matter anymore because you know how this works. We saw this last time when the U.S. extended daylight saving time a month longer, and it became the actual standard. So I don't know why we call that standard time. But yeah, when they did that, and 7 months as opposed to 6, we did it immediately. I don't even think a day went by. We immediately.
No, we have to do it.
We don't have to do anything.
We do.
We don't.
We don't want to confuse our
Oh,
American
please.
guests
They don't
when
get
come
confused when they
over,
go to
you know?
Jamaica or Barbados
No,
or
it's
Turks and
okay.
Caicos.
It's okay, no.
So, but we have to do it. We could have made it.
We don't think like Barbados and Jamaica. Dan.
Yeah, you better believe that. We could immediately make daylight saving time permanent right now, but we don't want to confuse. Oh, please. That's why they get to not wear masks, and we are forced to. So, yeah. Everything for them. Everything for them. But let's hear. Anyway, this is a time for us to be happy. I'm pretty sure the House. Well, I don't know what the House will do, but you know, there's been this constant movement toward this, and it's time. And this is bad for our health to be switching back and forth. It's bad for your health.
Bad for my microwave clock.
Right. Well, let's get your views on that quickly, though, folks. What do you make of it? Are you relieved, or are you with one of those who prefer standard time? Well, you could move to Chicago if you prefer to be an hour behind. Anyway, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. You know, that first month of standard time, everything is horrible. The losing of the weekend, the hour isn't as bad as that being sleepy at 7 o'clock. Or that it takes me a whole month. I have to turn on all the lights when I get home just so I can adjust to it being dark at 5:30. It's really, it's the worst. I haven't
The world
felt
is inconvenienced, Dwight.
Okay, let's hear what you have to say about it. What do you make of it? I see some people messaging. As a morning person, I prefer standard time. We call it standard time because of the time zone. Yeah. Otherwise, you need to move to the international dateline. So, yeah, what's that going to do? Is that going to make it? I don't think you can do that. It won't be standard time. It will still be daylight time. I'm not sure if everybody in standard time will be, right? So we'd have to permanently say that we are an EDT. Now, that may confuse some people. You get what I'm saying, right, Chester?
I'm confused.
Exactly. Because there is EST and EDT, and we will be an EDT. That's not standard time. There are going to be people still in standard time, in EST. And so, and I need the media and journalists to remember this, that when you print times, you're still going to have to say EDT, not EST.
Right.
Some people have a challenge with that right now. And they'll be printing times. They'll be saying right now, as we're in daylight time, they'll be saying it's happening at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like, wait. What does that mean? Is it literally standard time, or are you thinking we are in standard time, even though we're at daylight time? And more of that type of confusion going forward, I suspect. But hopefully people will understand what's going on. But we will see. We will see. This one says here, I wish they would split the difference when it comes to time. What does that mean? You get that? Do you get what that means?
Split it in between.
As in 6 months, back to that? Well, it's going to be interesting. Let's see how soon before we hear a statement from the government. I mean, we still has to pass the House and the president. But I do think it's going to happen. I have a feeling. They've been lobbying for a while. This is from Trump days. People were talking about this. So let's see. Keep that in mind. No more reminders to fall back. All right. Another story that's getting a lot of attention. UB, this has been such a long process. The University of the Bahamas Board of Trustees announcing that Dr. Eric Rowland was selected as new president of the university. The appointment takes effect August 1st of this year. Maynard Gibson is the chairperson of the board. She said yesterday during a press conference that Rowland has the qualifications, experience, and skills to meet mission-critical objectives, namely the knowledge, insights, and experience to achieve international accreditation. She said Rowland has the, quote, vision and competence to implement sustainable financial and operational models of fundraising and the capability to integrate 21st century technology modalities throughout the institution. Some big college words there. She also said, quote, fostering sustainability, a succession plan will be implemented to ensure that within a reasonable period of time, several individuals be qualified to succeed the president. Now, that's interesting. Rowland, who grew up in Norway, traveled to the U.S. to complete his PhD studies in 1991. We're told that he is, quote, a respected professional with 30 years' experience, hailing from the University of California and the California State University system in the United States. He currently serves as the Dean of the College of Business Administration at California Polytechnic and State University. Maynard Gibson says that he has successfully forged collaborations with key economic development partners, particularly those which have fueled venture capital pursuits as a feeder for entrepreneurship and sharing knowledge of best practices. She also said, quote, leveraging the expertise and networks will create further opportunities for exposure and engagement of our students with industry leaders around the world. He's going to succeed UB President Dr. Rodney Smith, who concludes his tenure on July 31st. So that's what was announced yesterday. Shortly afterward, we heard from UTEB, the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas, and its president, Daniel Thompson, who was very critical of the move yesterday. He said that the decision by the Board of Trustees was, quote, wrong and terrible. Among the three shortlisted finalists for president, only one was a Bahamian, president of UB North, Dr. Ian Strachan. Thompson, who was contacted for comment, said, quote, the board's decision was, he said, quote, it slap in the face. He described it as a slap in the face. That's what Thompson said. He went on to say, quote, we have lobbied and we've done all that we can do to express our support of the Bahamianization of the leadership of the university. It's a very sad day for the Bahamas in that regard, that with almost 50 years of independence, we find it necessary to appoint a foreigner while there were adequately qualified Bahamians. He said the union is, quote, very disappointed with the decision to appoint Dr. Rowland, an American scholar, over Dr. Ian Strachan, a Bahamian scholar. Quote, we are unapologetic in supporting the Bahamian scholar. We felt that Dr. Ian Strachan's career and experience are the epitome of what we as academics aspire towards. He said, quote, it's a slap in the face for us academics. Thompson said the union believes Strachan deserved the role not only because he's a Bahamian, but because he is qualified and was shortlisted. He said, quote, the board, as far as we are concerned, made an unfortunate decision. It's the wrong choice from our perspective. We didn't support that particular appointment. Our members voted in a recent poll almost 60% to support the appointment of Dr. Ian Strachan. Now, despite his opposition to Rowland's appointment, Thompson acknowledged that the decision was in the hands of the board. He noted that the union was engaged in the selection process and that while it lobbied for Strachan, the process was fair. He said, quote, it was fair, but our opinion is it was a terrible decision. We hope we are wrong. We hope he is a good president. When he comes in September, we will work with him, but that he will have to prove himself. Okay. Let's get your reaction to that. Everybody calls for Bahamianization, but when the time comes to put your money where your mouth is, sometimes we see differently. Tell us what you think. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's hear what you have to say about that. Okay. Some more text messages here. Somebody says here, I agree with you, Dwight. Let's stick with with this time. It's better for the Bahamas. How is it better for the Bahamas? I mean, I agree, but how? I'm just curious. How is it better for the Bahamas?
Better for Dwight Strachan.
Well, yeah, and that's usually better for the Bahamas. But but I mean, you know,
Okay.
why is it better? Because the U.S. is going to do it. That's why it's better, or because you just? I'd love to hear. Please tell me why it's better. I might be inclined to agree with you, but let's hear why. All right, and yes, continue to text it 422-4796. Call us, tweet us, Facebook us, and so I guess if we're going to talk about the UB thing, just in the interest of full disclosure, before any of you send your crazy messages, yes, Dr. Ian Strachan is my brother. Okay. Let's go. Here we go. Someone says, what? Someone says this. So here we go again with this UB nonsense. Is Bahamian leadership has my generation and my child's generation standing on the same line, and that should not be. I think I get it.
You were going to move on without fully getting it. What does that
So,
mean?
Harry,
standing
my
on the
opinion
same
is the Bahamian leadership has my generation, my child's generation standing on the same line, and that should not be. I guess there's been little progress that.
Yeah, I guess
maybe.
That's what came to me when you read it the second time.
Okay. Another one here. Didn't the Ministry of Work say they were cracking down on companies that apply for work permits for jobs that Bahamians were qualified for? Oh boy.
Interesting point.
Well, okay, I have nothing to say to that one. But,
how does that work in this case?
But I mean, let's look back at this line here. This was interesting. And I know I didn't hear this yesterday, but that's interesting. And there's more that's said in the articles. Alison Maynard Gibson was asked about this. Asked if there were no Bahamians qualified to lead the university. Maynard Gibson replied, quote, "We scrupulously examined qualifications, examined the criteria that had been laid down by university and community stakeholders. At the end of the day, Dr. Rowland was chosen." Now, 79 people had applied for the position of president. The candidates were narrowed down to 3 finalists who were referred to the board for review. The finalists were Rowland, Sir Anthony Selden, who served as the Vice Chancellor at University of Buckingham in Buckingham, England, and President of UB North, Dr. Ian Strachan, a Bahamian. In the statement, Rowland said, this is Rowland's statement. He said he's looking forward to, quote, "continuing the building of a first-rate national and international university. As president, my mission is to continue to build an inclusive community that enables both university and nation building, and that aligns our programs in ways that support international recognition and accreditation." Yeah. All right.
But you know, my thing is about that whole thing with Rowland and his qualifications, fundraising and making connections is that can be done. That could be done outside of one man. You know, making connections is something that we do through the U.S. Embassy and other like international bodies that works with us. Fundraising, I'm sure we have plenty of people to figure that out. I kind of don't get it, like that the reasoning is enough to deny a Bahamian the position. Because when this guy comes in, Rowland, right? You know, what's his kind of like period of having to learn the system, learn the people, learn the role as it relates to our culture. And you know, he's already, you know, kind of handicapped coming in. When Ian Strachan's been involved in this institution for forever, you know, and only needs to grab the reins and giddy up.
Yeah. Yeah. This line.
That's my take on it.
Right. This line here says from Alison Maynard Gibson again: fostering sustainability, a succession plan will be implemented to ensure that within a reasonable period of time, several individuals will be qualified to succeed the president.
Now, excuse my cynicism after being a Bahamian for so long. We've heard that all our lives about lots of things in this country. And that's all I got to say about that.
Wow. This text here, they only took the foreigner because they feel he has the connections. This person says if the F&M was the government and made this appointment at UB, these PLPs would have burned the town down. But with the PLP, they're getting a pass. Is that how it works? I'm not sure. It's the Board of Trustees. I don't know. And another text here. The UB situation is how everyone does it. All this talk, all these people is talk when it comes to telling Bahamians to get qualifications. Say succession plan, every company says that too. But they go back to the Ministry of Works. It's the same person who texted about the Ministry of Works. The Ministry of Works sucks. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's hear what you have to say. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, morning, Glenn.
Hi.
You. If the F&M had won the election, do you think that we would have known about that $2 million? And one more, your editorial for the day. This newspaper, I'm going to keep this for the rest of my life. That editorial is right on point. Thanks for letting me share.
Well, now you got to read the editorials, Dwight.
Right. And the $2 million, I have to guess what he's talking about. But okay, I think he's talking about the NGO situation last week. Okay. That came out of nowhere, but thank you. Thank you for that. So you can continue to message us about that. Let's move on, though, to the big story in the paper today. Government working on human rights bills, including marital rape and those controversial citizenship issues that we just cannot seem to ever agree on and move past from. Coming up again, but the government says it's working on some stuff. So for more on this, take a listen to this report from our Jasmine Brown.
Within that suite of recommended legislation are matters related to gender-based violence, matters related to marital rape, matters related to juvenile. So it's involved in an all-encompassing suite of legislation, which is a human rights legislative agenda.
It's safe to say that Davis administration is moving towards criminalizing it.
It's safe to say that Davis administration are looking at all of our international human rights obligations, which that is one of them, with a mind to becoming compliant with the United Nations requirements.
The AG weighed in on the matter nearly a month after the first ever National Gender-Based Violence Discriminatory Law Review Forum was held. The Nassau Guardian obtained a copy of the report and reported on Monday that participants recommended the criminalization of marital rape, legalization of abortion, and decriminalization of sex work, among other things. The AG was asked about their recommendations.
So these issues factor into commitments that the government of the Bahamas, as far back as 2018, have made to the United Nations and other multilateral institutions about legislative matters and other commitments with respect to human rights matters, and in preparation to go before the United Nations Human Rights Council, which is scheduled for 2023. And there were a series of recommendations.
Pinder also says tackling the issues head-on was long overdue, especially given the fact that former administrations made commitments to international organizations.
So what we have done is we have compiled a list and analysis of a suite of legislation that is going to be required to meet our obligations on human rights matters. It's rather all-encompassing, really broad-based, and we anticipate giving some tutorials to cabinet ministers or information sessions starting as early as this week on it.
Pinder says once cabinet is briefed on all the issues, the next logical step will be informing the public. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay, so let's get your reaction to that. Now, sounds interesting. And most of these do need to be addressed. Absolutely, absolutely. Is it just me, though? Are you getting the sense that we're only doing this because we signed on to these treaties and agreements and all? We need to...
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, our heart's not really in it, but we made the promises and we better do something before we look like clowns next year when we go before the UN? Or am I just being too cynical? That sounds like that to you, too? Yeah?
Sounds like it to me.
Oh boy, maybe you're just cynical as well. Let's get your reaction though, folks. Finally, or why are we doing this? Why do we sign on to any and everything just to impress the UN? How do you feel about it? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, so again, some of this has to do with immigration matters for equality between men and women, and some of the recommendations have to do with good governance, freedom of information, absolutely, ombudsman, we've been talking about that forever, and gender-based violence, some of the issues, so marital rape, juvenile offenses, quite a lot. And the citizenship issues that we keep messing up. So many of these desperately are needed and will change the lives of many, many people who've been struggling for decades here. Things that never should have happened or things that should have been fixed a long time ago. And so once and for all, many will say, I'm sure. Let's hear what you say, though. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
You know, Dwight, it looks like these issues, these controversial issues, is really going to rob this nation moving forward. But my thing is, and I've always been an advocate, and I had some concern as a child's right advocate on our abortion laws. You know, is abortion illegal in the Bahamas presently?
Apparently.
I didn't you say so?
Apparently.
Apparently, okay. I'll take the view that it is. If abortion is illegal in this area, if one is caught doing it, I don't know what the penalty is for it, right? But, yes, on the other hand, I believe personally that life begins from the first day of procreation. That's me. But if a woman, no matter how advanced a woman is in her pregnancy, if she is murdered, our law states that the unborn child life doesn't count. So exactly, what are we talking about?
Yep.
I'm trying to get an understanding on exactly what is it. Do you know what we're talking about?
That's a great point. Many have brought that up before, and that makes a great point. We are duplicitous in the way we do things here. But absolutely, that should be considered two lives.
I mean, it should. I've always been saying it now, but then now we are talking about whether we're going to debate. If that unborn child life doesn't count, it doesn't matter, why are we talking now about abortion? Inside of the pregnant women, we're saying that the life doesn't count if she is murdered. I mean, I'm just trying to, but I'm not going to allow the duplicity and the hypocrisy to confuse me because I know better. I know fully better, but it's going to be very interesting to hear what they have to say. Then I hear the Catholic Church again. They're now talking about they support the decriminalization of marital rape.
The criminalization
of marital rape, or however the case may be. But, like I told you, I listened to the show very attentively yesterday. And the in-house attorney, she was very clear and very candid. I've always stated that Section 15 of the Sexual Offenses Act has, and I mean, we have the best marital rape laws in this region.
No, we don't.
I mean, you're not going to say it because you're pushing, you're pro.
There is no such thing as marital rape in this country.
There. If you are abused, if you are being abused, you can take the steps to get out of it. And we should not be advocating for women to remain in these.
Nobody's doing that, Cleaver. I don't know why you don't get it. But it leaves the perpetrator free to go and continue with their rapist ways.
And you
right?
also heard your in-house attorney stated that this law is legal throughout the United States, but they treat it as a misdemeanor. So where all this passion coming from if they're going to get a slap on the wrist? You saying let them walk. They could walk with a slap on the wrist. Just say you give them a slap on the wrist. You charge them $1,000. Would you be happy with that?
Just because that's how it is in the U.S. doesn't mean it's going to be like that here. Maybe there are some times where it is very obvious that it is a rape, but
and then the Attorney General went further, stated that it's going to be very difficult to prove it. So I think our focus should really be, rather than clouding the issue of marriage, our focus should be, or even if we're going to push this law, let's do it like this. If someone is found wanting or guilty for lying, let's make the sentence 30 years in jail. Let's bring some balance to this discussion. You can't just say punish the man. What about the person? And in many instances, they have many instances. You can Google it, you can check. Many instances they have where women have lied and destroyed men's lives. But do they want now for the law to state that if you're found wanting, you get 30 years in jail?
well, I doubt anyone's going to say 30 years, but that has been discussed.
30 years.
Okay, that's been discussed. That that there should be penalties for that as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. 30 years for that, but you murder your grandmother and you get 15 years. Okay. Yep, that sounds about right. All horrible, but okay. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This one says here, this is UB, okay, these UB puppets want marital rape laws. What now? But can't even get a Bahamian to run UB. That's a reach. But a white foreigner, folks in the West Indies laughing at you guys. You guys. Okay. Well, I don't see how you could be mixing up all of these stories. Well, what's going on here? What does that have to do with the other thing? Okay. To Manchester, if we are disqualifying groups of Bahamians based on past poor performances, we probably need to hire an American parliament as well. My take is that it is pointless hiring a foreigner based on their perceived access to beneficial network contacts when historically we have never benefited from these non-assets, or they're saying intangible. Okay. Remember, UB had foreign presidents before. How did they benefit us, and why are they not at UB today? Another text here. Is Ian Strong the only qualified Bahamian? There are other Bahamian academics abroad. Let's not get caught up in personality. Leadership involves many attributes, some of which is temperament and judgment. Mr. Strong or Dr. Strong may be an awesome professor, but does he have the attributes to lead the university? Besides, there are Bahamian professors abroad leading universities. Should they not be presidents of American universities? Well, your last point is a good one. But, hey, you heard 79 people applied, and it was whittled down to the 3 top finalists there, and he was among the 3. So I'm sure Bahamians were, and he's already the president of UB North. But, yes, so you make an interesting point about Bahamians who are presidents at universities abroad. And, yeah, we do need to watch those things that we say, because Bahamians are benefiting from great opportunities.
What was the point about presidents at colleges abroad?
Well, they're saying, I guess, shouldn't Bahamians be presidents in foreign countries? Presidents of universities in foreign countries? If we're going to say things like, why are we having a foreigner here when we've got qualified Bahamians?
I think the problem is we're so jaded that we know it's a possibility for a Bahamian to become a president of a college abroad. Here, because of the atmosphere, because of what we've seen over many, many years about Bahamian advancement in a lot of areas, we're jaded. Can you blame us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got some more calls. Let's take these. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
Okay, back to the marital rape situation. Do you guys know the law on the law book for rape, the penalty? Hello?
It depends, right? But what it's your
No, the actual penalty on the law book for rape is life. Okay? It's the judge that be lenient and give those guys 10, 15, and 20 years. Okay? So we are complexing an issue that's a non-issue because, like the lady said yesterday, the actual rate of person being convicted is very low. I still trying to understand why we moved away. I thought this should be from the person that sent this thing to us to be a part of. Why don't we look at a child born anywhere in the world to a Bahamian woman to have citizenship in the Bahamas? What's wrong with that? I thought that would have been a more important issue if we already know the conviction rate is very low.
Are we only allowed to change one law in a year? Is that what you're saying? I mean, why can't we look at all of these issues?
No, I'm not, Dwight. I'm not saying that we should just look at one law. I'm not saying that, sir. But I thought that would have been a more pertinent issue for women at this time, because we have a lot of women that lives abroad. The kids are born abroad, but they want to come back home.
Well, you don't know how many women. You don't know how many women are being raped by their husbands. Maybe this is more important to them.
You cannot be raped by your husband.
Why not?
Okay? You cannot be raped. You know, it's rape. Rape is an abuse. Okay? Okay. It first have to be abusive in a way, as far as either beaten or some abuse in an abusive way. Like you can't call it forcefully taking a woman private. Okay?
Well,
I'm speaking about as far as us.
Sir,
as men in this country.
you are incorrect.
I'm incorrect.
Anybody can be raped. And anybody can.
Yes, I listen. I'm speaking about in a marriage.
What's the difference?
Marriage vow. How could
What's
you
the
be raped
difference?
In a marriage?
So you don't have the right to say what you do and don't want to your body?
Let me explain to you why I'm saying this to you. If a woman is raped in a marriage and she continues to stay in that marriage after being raped, is not seeking a way out of the marriage, she's just as bad as the abuser. Okay. So we are conflicting a whole story.
I mean, that doesn't come before you, what she decides to do,
so
right? Okay, so what if it happens one time? And is it different? If it's one time and then she's like...
if it happens one time and she goes to the relevant authorities, right? What's the difference if it happened 10 times?
Well, no, answer that. If it happens one time, then what?
If it happens one time, I think they should decide either take it to the trial, because you know what's going to happen? If she decides to stay in that marriage, what happens? It continues, right? Okay? You understand what I'm saying to you, sir?
No.
You don't want to understand.
No.
What I'm saying to you is that if she decides to stay in that marriage after being raped, okay? What's the point of
all right? So let's go by what you're saying. So you get raped by your husband, and then you got to get out. Divorce. That's the end of that.
But what
you rape me, and I'm just saying. So you rape me, and we're done. Okay, so now you go ahead and marry somebody else and rape them if you
what I'm
wish.
saying to you is this: if you get raped, say we had that law in place, you got raped from your husband, right? Right? Your husband is not going to be around anymore because he's either going to be in prison or he's going to have to move out the house anyway. According to the law, will be changed. So that marriage actually will be over anyway. Don't care how you look at it.
Okay,
you understand my point?
Probably for the best. Yes.
Well, I'm just saying to you. So we have laws on the books right now that can stem that flow. Because if you're in an abusive relationship, married or court seeks for you to either get separation, legal separation, or some partner move out of the marital home. Okay? So why change the law for something that's going to have a low rate of conviction? That's what I'm saying to you.
Low doesn't mean no. And so low does not mean no. So it doesn't matter how low it is. But
all right, we emulate the United States of America, right? In the U.S., it's a misdemeanor. You know what is a misdemeanor? It's not misdemeanor is not a prison term, you know. That's what is a misdemeanor. It's not a prison sentence, okay? So we are going to change the law, and we're going to mess up a lot of people's marriage when we have laws.
Well, they messed up their marriages when they raped.
Pardon me?
They messed up the marriages when they force.
Straight back to my point, Dwight. As if they raped in the marriage is already messed up. Okay, that's what I'm. That's exactly what I am simply trying to say to you. So have a nice day.
Okay. All right, so we just don't want to punish the people who are doing this stuff. That's what we're saying. There's going to be a lot of people who are doing it, and we don't want to see half the country. Like to me, is that what's going on? Yeah. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Let's take one more call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Early day to this dark in the voice along with you and Chester, Dwight.
Hi.
Dwight, I want to make 2 points, right? One is, here it is. If one having a problem with his wife, or if the law, the people that, makes the law believes that a man and a woman got to have a problem in their marriage, why don't the law doesn't educate those men and women that before it gets to that, one leave and get another woman instead of messing up their character or giving them a police record. That is wrong, okay? Educate the people. My other point is, right, here it is, they only concern of Satan law. A lot of problem people having with people breaking into their house, hanging around their place. Why they doesn't give the people rights to use some tear gas to keep people from around their house or breaking into their house? Oh my God. That's what they should do. Quit jiving. Thank you.
Tear gas.
Oh dear.
Tear gas. I mean,
oh my!
Industrial strength pepper spray is legal, isn't it?
I don't think that's actually. I think we did a show and someone said that's not supposed to be legal, right?
Really?
These stores aren't supposed to be selling those things, right? They're not supposed to, right? Here, they're not. But
pepper spray.
Tear gas. Wow.
I don't know about tear gas.
Well, I mean, that's insane. That's insane. Okay.
If that was legal, I'd totally booby trap my house with it.
Can you imagine? I mean,
I can't.
People come around trying to sell you something, and you just
popping tear gas canisters at them.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy. Okay.
But to his first point about marital rape, if only human beings were so black and white that you could tell everyone to just go get help.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, we wouldn't have most of the problems we have around here. But human beings ain't black and white.
Yeah. Let's read a few messages here. We're all over the place. Everybody's talking about all kinds of things. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get to Fred Mitchell, the chairman of the PLP, who's also the Minister of Foreign Affairs and an MP. So I don't know if he should be saying some of the things he says as chairman. The wonderful voice notes. The one this morning is a classic. Remember last week, former Prime Minister Dr. McMinnis saying he can't wait to get to the House to bus day blank, right? You remember that? So Fred Mitchell apparently has urged PLPs to come to the House today to support the Prime Minister Davis, to defend, to protect him for the alleged or threatened busing of the blankety blank today. So right? And now, according to Fred Mitchell, former Prime Minister Minnis has asked for some protection for himself because the PLP is supposed to come out. Should we play? Let's go to the Fred Mitchell. It's very long.
So today is Billy Club and Brass Knuckles Day?
I don't know what's going to happen out there. But the language in this voice note is quite classic. And then we'll get back to your text messages. Take a listen.
So come.
Take a listen to this, folks.
Service and Foreign Affairs, and today is Wednesday, the 16th of March, 2022. Yesterday, the 15th of March, 2022, was the Ides of March, the anniversary of the assassination of Julius Caesar in the year 44 BC. Shakespeare wrote the play to describe what happened. The soothsayer warned Caesar as he was headed into the Senate and said, "Beware of the Ides of March," he told Caesar. Caesar ignored the warning. So on the day itself, Caesar was headed to the Senate and passed the soothsayer and said, "Well, the Ides of March have come." And the soothsayer replied, "Aye, but not yet gone." Every year on the 15th of March, Stendhal Forbes of the Bahamas and Michael Alkitis, the minister, and myself find a way to exchange those words. The Ides of March have come, aye, but not yet gone. And we did so yesterday. So now let me turn to Dr. Hubert Minnis, who listened to an appeal in my last voice note to all PLPs to turn out in the public square this morning to protect Prime Minister Philip Davis. This was in response to a quote in the Tribune on the 11th of March, which was attributed to the former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, where he said, and I quote, with regard to Prime Minister Philip Davis, "I can't wait to get to Parliament to bust his ass." Dr. Minnis did not deny making that statement. The reporter who reported the statement is a reliable reporter. Dr. Minnis went further and said, referring to PLP MPs, presumably, and busted stupidness. Now, like a little crybaby sour lime, in our days as children we used to say, like a little punk, Hubert Minnis has run to the Commissioner of Police to ask for protection because I asked PLPs to come to Parliament Square today to protect Prime Minister Philip Davis, who, as I remind you again, the former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis was threatened. He threatened with this language that today he will bust Mr. and appeal to PLPs to turn out in the public square, defend our Prime Minister Philip Davis. But isn't it interesting, though, how this man who had all that hard mouth when he was Prime Minister, all this crudeness now about whose ass he's going to bust, and suddenly is hiding behind the gown tails of the police force, sort of figuratively speaking. He ought to be ashamed of himself, but of course he has no shame. Dr. Minnis should resign from Parliament. He is utterly irrelevant. He is last year's news. This is Pintard and Cartwright's time, and he's trying to spoil the show. And, Dr. Minnis, I want to let you know, one monkey don't spoil no show. And not only one man, one woman could born a crazy child. And if you could play crazy, I could play crazy too. You had your chance as Prime Minister. You blew it. You said dumb things. You did dumb things. You ran the country into bankruptcy almost. You presided over locking up your political opponents. Your minister down for interfering in the courts and the cases. The latest now is your witness, the star witness, wanted money to testify. All of that happened under your watch. You will pay in history and pay dearly for your stupidity, incompetence, meanness, hatred, and abuse of the Bahamian people. Instead of running to the police like the little tattletale punks in school, how about going to the priest and confessing your sins, Dr. Minnis? God is faithful and just and will forgive your sins. Until you have contrition and repentance, you will not have heaven as your home. Hell will be instead. God bless you. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, all of you. And it's still PLP all the way.
Oh, wow.
Well, what more you need after that? We can finish the show.
Just play the theme song. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
That was heavy.
That was a lot. Again,
So, it's funny how he chides Minnis for saying certain things, and his voice note is just, like you said, as Minister of Foreign Affairs and an MP, outrageous language.
Yeah. I mean, you might make a case for a chairman, possibly talking like
so
this.
So what, you just get to take hats off so you could do stuff and then put them back on?
Maybe.
It's convenient?
I guess. Maybe he should do a video so we can see this, and then he puts on his suit to go to the office. So now I'm a statesman now. I'm a statesman now, but in the mornings, 4 o'clock, don't mess with me. I'm wearing yellow. Don't mess with me. Okay. Well, we urge everyone to calm down, and let's not be silly today. For God's sake. Let's not be silly because we've got to go to a break. This person says here, as we said, we're all over the place with a lot of different things happening this morning. This text says, I agree with you, Tab. The statement by the chair was disingenuous. We have qualified Bahamians. It's apparent we like foreigners selling us dreams. Dr. Strachan should have been chosen because of his qualifications and the fact that it fits into organizational culture, and he would be most qualified to navigate issues within UB and dealing with UB and the stakeholders like the government. This is absolutely a national disgrace of the highest order. And they point to this being the third foreign president between Fodder Bozeman. That name doesn't... is that what her name was? That doesn't sound right.
Betsy Vogel-Bose.
Bose, there you go. Yes, right, not Bozeman. And now Roland, yeah. Okay. And yeah, she was on the show a couple times, actually. This one says here, this UB thing should be a lesson to all Bahamians. Perceived value is the most important requirement, and being foreign adds value. It is that special X factor. Another one, I can't listen to these editing here. Talking about a man can't rape his wife. You need to reject these calls. Another one says here, that caller sounds like he forces himself. Yikes, okay. This marital rape issue is one of many that exposes the mentality of so many here and why we as a society are where we are. I'd love to hear every person that claims a wife cannot be raped also say that they have that same energy if it was their mother or sister on the receiving end of a husband who has sex with her when she clearly does not want to. Even crazier is that there are women thinking this way as well. I blame religion. Another one says here, I think people should just stay boyfriend and girlfriend until we properly figure things out because this ain't making no sense. Better divorce laws will assist in preventing a lot of marital rapes or marriage rapes. Okay. And another one here. There are more incidents of big gay men forcing themselves on underage boys than so-called marital rape. Just a month ago, some gay man was convicted, but you guys didn't talk about that. Well, you wouldn't know because there's no such thing as marital rape, would you? So I guess you could say that based on how things look with the law right now. But sure. Another one here. If marital rape is that prevalent, then why are so many people getting married? Obviously, it was happening even before the marriage. What?
What?
What type of...
Move on.
What
don't even try to figure it out.
Yeah. This text here. What baffles me is single people discussing and making strong comments on marital rape. Now, you really... What now? Okay. What's baffling is how many clearly married people are being tortured. That's what's baffling. Tortured every day. This one says here, I'm trying to imagine Fred Mitchell talking tough. Well, you just heard it. Another one here. Imagine growing up in the church all through Sunday school. You learn sex is for married people, and you wait until you're married to have sex, and then you get married legally, sign yourself to someone else, I guess you're saying, to someone else, and made it illegal to have sex with anyone else, and then you're... And then what? What are you saying? What about it? Get a divorce. What are you saying? You should rape the person? Is that what you're saying? If that's what happened, get a divorce. Get out of that marriage.
I'm sure that, yeah. I don't understand where we were going with that point.
Yeah. What's your point? You've married an ice cube. Get out. Go. You cannot force yourself. You can't. Anyway, this person says here, some of these text messages. Is this real life, Dwight? This is ridiculous. These people are our leaders. Both Minnis and Fred Mitchell are too grown for this. The Bahamas is not a real place. Okay, someone says here, is Fred... Was Fred Mitchell high or 16 or just 16 years old? calling PLPs out to fight like it's a gang. No, that's not. He didn't call them out to fight, but he called them out to support the brother, protect him from getting something bust.
Boot up in the schoolyard.
Right. And this text here, what Dr. Minnis said was a threat to Mr. Davis. I remember Mr. Christie showing his finger once, and the media went crazy. They should do the same thing in this case. Yeah, you saw that as a threat? Okay. This one says, yeah, I'm a PLP, and I think Fred Mitchell should be ashamed of himself for the way he carries on as a minister. It's disgraceful. Again, we're saying he puts on a different hat when he makes those voice notes in the morning. This text here, childish, I think you're saying crap, eh? Childish crap from Mitchell and Dr. Minnis. We are in trouble in this country because of people like them. There's a lot of text messages. We got to go to a break. This person says here, marital rape is an oxymoron. If the wife doesn't love the husband anymore, then get a divorce. What's it got to do with love? Why are you saying that? But yeah, sure. That part, the last part is right. But okay. Folks, I don't know what's going on. This is why people get concerned, because of the callers and everybody else. So are you concerned that what you do would be perceived as marital rape? Or are you worried about the couple guys out there, because you say it's not many because you don't see anybody getting charged? Of course they can't. But which one is it? You're concerned about yourself, or that your fellow brothers out there are going to get convicted and you're worried for them? Which one is it? Don't be worried for them. Just do what's right for you and your wife. Right? You're doing what's right, right? You're not acting like she's your sex slave. Right? Right? So you're straight. You're going to be cool. Don't worry. Don't worry. Let's take a break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1980. Brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Got your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, Mile Butler Highway, as usual, heavy traffic from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to the Tonique-Williams-Darling Highway roundabout. Backed up along Tonique-Williams-Darling Highway, westbound to that roundabout as well, and eastbound on Fire Trail to the Fire Trail roundabout with Mile Butler Highway. Elsewhere, Gladstone Road also busy. Northbound for you this morning, north of Fire Trail. Heavy traffic westbound on Carmichael already at this hour, heading toward Coral Harbor Road. And pockets along Carmichael, eastbound to the junction with Milo Butler Highway, and east to Blue Hill Road. You'll be seeing the heavy traffic there. Building traffic on Cowpen Road near Faith Avenue. And Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic northbound, north of Soldier to the roundabout with Independence Drive. We're seeing some building traffic eastbound on Independence Drive to the roundabout with East Street as well. And then pockets along Prince Charles Drive and Robinson Road, westbound mainly. Heavy traffic on Soldier Road already north of Robinson Road, heading toward the intersection with Bernard, Wolf, and Village. Bernard Road seeing heavy traffic westbound, and Eastern Road already very heavy traffic from just west of San Souci all the way up to Johnson Road. That's your real-time traffic and Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by PAHO, the Pan American Health Organization. We've got the remnants of a frontal boundary that will meander to our north, triggering periodic bouts of unsettled weather across portions of the northwest Bahamas. Meanwhile, a high-pressure ridge building across the area will sustain moderate to fresh breezes across the islands through tonight. For the northwest and central Bahamas, look for variably cloudy, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the extreme northwestern islands, turning warm tonight. Small craft caution in effect for Atlantic exposures. Breezy with a chance of a few light passing showers, becoming fair and mild tonight. Small craft caution in effect. Temperatures getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a weak cold front will skirt north of the area, allowing showers and thunderstorms to impact the northwestern, or the northernmost islands at least, by Thursday, while high pressure keeps a warm weather pattern in place through to Friday. So for tomorrow, Thursday, variably cloudy and hot with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Friday, partly sunny to sunny and very warm with the chance of isolated showers. This morning, weather check brought to you by PAHO. Has it been 5 months since your second COVID-19 vaccine? Well, don't forget to get your booster. Getting your COVID-19 booster vaccine and booster can prevent you missing important job opportunities and special occasions abroad. Being fully vaccinated can help you with getting a job or being able to travel. Don't wait until it's too late. Get your vaccines now so you're ready for that job. And to travel, visit vax.gov.bs to book an appointment at your nearest. Simply walk into any of those locations.
Speed doesn't come easy. It takes your investment in your goals, your time, your full effort, full dedication. And when you think you've done enough, do it again. It takes precision, not just doing it, but doing it as best as possible. Day in, day out. And just like BTC, I will stop at nothing to make the people of the Bahamas stand up and cheer. That's what fuels me and why I'm a proud ambassador of BTC. Because we share a common desire to elevate your internet experience so you elevate everything you do with it and make it the best it can be. Switch to BTC Superfast Internet and elevate what's next.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders used in the store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got the remnants of a frontal boundary that will meander to our north, triggering periodic bouts of unsettled weather across portions of the northwest Bahamas, while a high-pressure ridge building across the area will sustain some moderate to fresh breezes across the islands through tonight. Boaters in the extreme northwest Bahamas should exercise caution due to the threat of possible waterspout activity, and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents, mainly across eastern and Atlantic exposed shorelines. Northwest and central Bahamas, variably cloudy, hot and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the extreme northwestern islands today, turning warm tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with a chance of a few light, quick passing showers, becoming fair and mild tonight. Small craft caution in effect for Atlantic exposures in the northwest and central Bahamas, and small craft caution in effect generally for the southeast Bahamas. Look for highs getting up back into the 80s, highs around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius, quite warm. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a weak cold front will skirt north of the area, allowing showers and thunderstorms to impact the northernmost islands by Thursday, while high pressure keeps a warm weather pattern in place through to Friday. So for tomorrow, Thursday, variably cloudy and hot with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Friday, partly sunny to sunny and very warm with a chance of isolated showers. That's your morning blend weather check. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And at 8:24, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Any real-time traffic, heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway as usual, from Wells south to Fire Trail this morning, all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. That's in the northbound lanes there. And that's causing traffic to be backed up along Tonic Williams Darling Highway, especially westbound, with pockets eastbound as well to that roundabout. Then we've got Fire Trail backed up eastbound to the roundabout it has with Mile Butler Highway. And Gladstone Road seeing heavy traffic just north of Fire Trail in the northbound lanes this morning. Carmichael Road still seeing heavy traffic westbound heading to Coral Harbor Road. And then Blue Hill Road. Not looking as bad as usual, but you'll see heavier traffic near the junction with St. Vincent Road and Carmichael Road, and as you get closer to the Independence Drive roundabout. But Independence Drive is seeing issues both directions, westbound and eastbound this morning. And you might even want to avoid that area if you are in a hurry. Over at the six-legged roundabout, we're seeing traffic coming from multiple directions. Eastbound on JFK, heavy traffic there. Northbound on Mile Butler Highway, you're going to see that traffic. And southbound on your Providence Highway. So you've got some wait times there. Saunders Beach, West Bay Street, seeing some heavy traffic from Goslow Bend to the roundabout with New Providence Highway. That's eastbound. Heavy San Souci up to Johnson Road. That's westbound. And Soldier Road from the north of Robinson through to the intersection with Wolf, Bernard, and Village Road, heavy traffic there. Those are your hottest spots as your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. It is Controversy Week. All week long, we're looking at some hot button issues. Today, we are focusing on abortion. Abortion in the Bahamas. We're looking at it from two different perspectives, pro-life and pro-choice. Beginning this morning with pro-life, we are very pleased to welcome back to the show a great friend of Morning Blend, Pastor Cedric Moss. Pastor Cedric Moss, always a pleasure. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
We know this issue is getting some more attention due to some comments that have been made in the public But we know the church generally has the same stance on this that it's always had. But let's get your position on abortion, and tell us how you feel about it.
Well, Dwight, first I think I should say that, as you've indicated, this is a sensitive topic, and I'm aware that more than likely there would be women who have had elective abortions, and perhaps men and parents who have been party to elective abortions who might be listening. And so I think, to preface my comments, I would want to say that although taking the life of an unborn child is a weighty sin, it's not the unpardonable sin. There is mercy and grace and forgiveness for all who come to Christ in repentance and faith. So I want to say that right up front. But in terms of what I believe about abortion and really what the church holds to, and I also think what the science proves, is that the unborn, whether you refer to the unborn as an embryo or fetus, that unborn is a human being. That unborn is a living human organism in early stages of development. But the fact is that unborn person is a human being, distinct. That unborn person has its own unique DNA, has a body that's unique and distinct from parents, will have its own legs and brain and nervous system and so forth, is living. That unborn child would grow and would be reproducing. And that unborn child is not just a clump of tissue, that is a human organism. And those individual parts will work together to create a whole developed person. We all started there. And so it is really unthinkable that we would believe that it's okay to snuff out life at an early vulnerable stage, but we try to protect life that's already developed. And so I think the thinking is skewed to believe that we can terminate life at an early and vulnerable stage just because the unborn aren't able to speak for themselves, but they have rights. And the most basic right that the unborn has is the right to life. And I think we should protect it.
So what do you say to someone, a mother or parents, who say we just cannot provide for this child? We're just not in a mental state, a financial state to provide for this child. And what lies ahead for this child is the pain and suffering for at least the first 18, 20 years of his or her existence, and that this might be the best option.
I think, Dwight, we would say the same thing to that parent or those parents who are facing that situation as we would to a family or a mother who's facing the situation now with children who are 5 or 6 or 12 or 13. What would be the difference? I mean, you could say, well, kill those children as well, because you can't take care of them, and the next 5 years and next 10 years is going to be difficult for them. I think what we need to be considering is how do we as a society come alongside parents who are having a difficult time in caring for their children. And I think the big issue is that we just have misplaced priorities. And so we'll spend money on nonsensical things and turn around and say, well, we don't have enough money at social services to support these children. So I think that a child is a child, whether that is a preborn, vulnerable child or a child who has already been born into this world, and the parent would have some difficulty caring for the child.
Is this your position on situations involving rape and incest as well?
Let me say this about rape and incest. Statistics, and you can get them from any number of different places. Generally, rape, it is about half of 1%. And largely in the United States, we don't have numbers here, and I don't know that our numbers would be relevant, but in the United States, half of 1% of the cases that end in abortion, elective abortion, are from rape. From a personal point of view, I believe it is the same because that is a human being as well. I understand it is a difficult situation for a person who has had rape forced on them or incest to be bearing a child that they did not choose to conceive. And so that's a difficult matter. But even there, I would say what is important for us to do is to establish the rule and then make the exceptions. Now, as it goes with me, my wife will testify, my girls will testify. We've talked about this and I've shared with them that is my view. If my wife, well, I don't know that she can get pregnant at this stage now, but certainly my daughters, I have two daughters, if they would be raped, my strong encouragement to them would be carry the child to full term and then decide what you want to do with the child. I know of particular situations where women have been raped and they have elected to take that child and keep that child as their very own. And that would be what I would advocate for my two daughters.
Wow, that's okay. That's quite a statement there. And you're saying in incest cases as well. Do you think that should be the way to act in this? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would say the same.
Wow. An earlier caller made an interesting point about the standards here in the country. How when a woman is murdered, a pregnant woman is murdered, that counts as only one person being murdered. Do you think we need to change our view on that, especially as abortion is currently illegal in this country?
Yes, I fully agree with that because 2 lives have been terminated. I read of a study that was done between some 5,500 scientists, and 92% of them agreed that life begins at conception. And so I do believe that when life is terminated, so killed and her child is killed at the same time, even though that is a child at a very early stage of development, it is a human life, and I believe that show that we are promoting a culture of life rather than a culture of death by respecting the unborn and treating them as human beings and treating them as having the most basic human right, which is the right to life. It's unthinkable to me that in our country where we have what I would consider a culture of death. Just the other day, we had 5 persons just murdered, their lives considered as nothing. And we have this culture of death. Why would we want to add to the culture of death by legalizing elective abortions? Why would we want to do that?
We're getting a message here. Someone saying, I love men talking about abortion, and in particular rape and incest. And that's from one of our women listeners. But what do you say to that? That men really should say about this, that this is an issue for women, the person who is carrying the child. And what do you say to that?
Well, what I would say to that is we're talking about a matter of right and wrong. And so it is not gender specific. I can give my views on any particular matter of right and wrong, just as a woman can. So it really has nothing to do with women only can speak to this and men cannot. This is a matter of right and wrong. Is it right to kill an innocent, vulnerable child in its earliest stages of development? or is it wrong? And so that's not a gender-specific question.
I'm not sure where you stand on this. I don't think we've ever had a debate on this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're getting a text here saying that if the church is against abortion, it should also be against the death penalty, pro-life, right? What say you to that, Pastor Cedric Moss?
Well, the Bible is very clear on the issue of capital punishment, and so a person who takes the life of another person and they've done so in a manner that is unlawful, the sword has the responsibility to mete out justice. While I hold to the sanctity of life, I firmly believe that those who take life unlawfully should have the state to lawfully take their life. And also, the issue of war comes up as well. There are just wars. And so I'm not to say that you cannot and should not take life under any circumstance whatsoever. So I fully support the death penalty. I actually think that one of the reasons we have a culture of death in our country is that murder does not get the proper and fitting punishment. It is a reward to place a person in prison and take care of them for however long we take care of them when they have taken the life of another person. That is not a punishment, that is a reward.
Okay. Let's take a call. We've got a call coming in. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend.
Dwight, you know that one of the 10 Commandments says, "Thou shalt not kill." You know, and people should consider that the Bible tells you straight and plain, the Lord tells you straight and plain, to keep His commandments. Thank you for your time.
Okay. All right. Pastor Moss, I hope you can stick around. When we come back, we can get another perspective. I know this is not a debate, but I hope you can stick around. We're going to get the other side of this. We're going to be hearing from our guest who is pro-choice on this. We're going to get to that after this break. This is Morning Blend, Controversy Week here on Morning Blend, Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Controversy.
For sale. It's our third look at this place. Let's buy.
Here we come. Home ownership is a big deal, so move in merrily with CIBC First Caribbean. With your new mortgage, you'll get half off the appraisal cost, commitment fee, and more. Enjoy up to 95% financing and a home redeemable at selected hardware, furniture, and appliance stores. Nice zone. We moved in.
Merrily.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/move merrily for details.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises the public, its customers, and the residents of Melbourne Road, Yellow Elder Gardens that the corporation will commence improvement work on March 16, 2022, for a duration of 6 weeks. During this period, there may be interruptions in the water supply, road closure, and detour around the work areas. Motorists are asked to avoid the area between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. The corporation apologizes for any inconvenience caused and appreciates your support as they work to improve their level of service.
Let Wendy's heat up your morning. Wake up with our new Hot Honey Chicken Biscuit that is forged in flavor and made fresh every morning just for you. Forged from a fusion of sweet honey and spicy heat. Wendy's new Hot Honey Chicken Biscuit is our breaded premium all-white chicken breast topped with habanero honey, served on a fresh-baked buttermilk biscuit. It offers the perfect balance of sweet heat. Better mornings always start at Wendy's.
Drive happy with free fuel for a year with CIBC First Caribbean and Esso. Use your CIBC First Caribbean Visa debit or credit card to fuel up with $25 or over at any participating Esso service station, and you are automatically entered for a chance to win the grand prize and weekly prizes of $200 in fuel or cash. Offer runs until March 20th, 2022. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more details. The Esso brand is a trademark of the ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Speed doesn't come easy. It takes your investment in your goals, your time, your full effort, full dedication. And when you think you've done enough, do it again. It takes precision, not just doing it, but doing it as best as possible. Day in, day out. And just like BTC, I will stop at nothing to make the people of the Bahamas stand up and cheer. That's what fuels me and why I'm a proud ambassador of BTC. Because we share a common desire to elevate your internet experience so you elevate everything you do with it and make it the best it can be. Switch to BTC Superfast Internet and elevate what's next.
Drive happy with free fuel for a year with CIBC First Caribbean and Esso. Use your CIBC First Caribbean Visa debit or credit card to fuel up with $25 or over at any participating Esso service station, and you are automatically entered for a chance to win the grand prize and weekly prizes of $200 in fuel or cash. Offer runs until March 20th, 2022. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for trademark of the ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good for you. Was I what you wanted me to be? Controversy. You get high. Does your daddy cry?
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We've been talking with Pastor Cedric Moss, talking about abortion. He's pro-life. Now with a pro-choice perspective. Very pleased to have with us, it's been a while, activist Shantez Dillett Wilson. Shantez, welcome back to the show. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk about this charged subject this morning.
Yes, love to hear your views. So let's talk about it. You're pro-choice. Explain to us why and why you're so passionate about this issue.
Well, ultimately, I believe that bodily autonomy, what we do with our bodies, is a fundamental right. And I say I believe, but the fact of the matter is that is an established social contract within the world too, as well, and does acknowledge in both its constitution and in its signing of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. So the fact of the matter is, as a human race, we've agreed upon that bodily autonomy is something fundamental to the human experience. At the end of the day, forcing someone to go through with a pregnancy is a violation of that. That is, I want to say, the underpinning of it, the philosophical basis. But at the end of the day, I have seen what not having access to abortion can do to a woman's life and also to a society. I think that this is about women having the rights to do what they want with their body, to create the decisions that make the best decisions for their lives and for the lives of their families and their children. And also us creating policy decisions that help our communities to thrive and to uplift themselves. And I think that having access to abortion is a big part of that. I mean, at the end of the day, it should be the woman's choice.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk some more about it. You say you've seen the what that means, what happens here. Tell us more about that and some of the psychological and other impacts that has on a woman and others in her life.
Absolutely. Well, I could talk about this from the fact of the matter is the main reason that women come in to get abortions are the number one reason is they're not financially ready. Their family cannot financially support another child in good conscience. The second reason being that their relationship is in a space that cannot handle it. And usually that correlates with some kind of discord or in many cases, violence within the home. The fact of the matter is that it's no secret that bearing children into these kinds of environments have poor outcomes for the children and the mothers and the rest of the family. And, we see statistically that this bears out in places where they have or they've given access to abortion. You can actually see correlations with lower child poverty rates. You can see correlations with lower crime rates a generation later. You can see correlations with better outcomes for women. That's everything from better high school graduations for women, better college graduations for women, better career prospects for women across the board. You just see so many of the things that we're aiming for as far as social factors, having improved statistics, but also just from a personal and I guess a more individual, not having access to abortion does not stop people from getting an abortion. I went to Queens College. You know, most people in this country would consider that a relatively prestigious school. And I remember being in high school and there being an issue of a fetus being found in a plastic bag over the wall of our school. And I can't imagine, and it was determined that that was probably a student and they probably performed that on campus in fear. Like I said, not having legal access to abortions does not stop people from having abortions. It just makes people do really horrific things to their bodies and to their lives. I do not know what happened to that person, but what could have happened is they could have died. What could have happened is they could have permanently scarred themselves and not be able to have children ever again. And to make a decision like that, most of us graduated QC at 17, maybe 18. To make a decision like that before the age of 18 is, you know, that's a horrific and, you know, just truly scarring thing to have to think about.
Don't those kinds of things happen in places where there are legal abortion too?
Only if the person does not have access. And so I say that I'm an abortion access advocate because legalization is only one step within access. When I was in New York, where obviously abortion is legal, you know, we had abortion access funds, and I was an advocate for an abortion access fund because in many cases, abortion can still be expensive. And so if you still don't have access in that regard, or if you're in a community where the shame of it and the stigma of it is too great for you to go out and seek the procedure, even though you technically have legal access, that can also be, you know, cause these kinds of things. And I used to work for the Ayan Hirsi Ali Foundation, which specifically dealt with women in Muslim communities that were being forced into marriage or were experiencing domestic or sexual abuse. And you did see these kinds of things happening in New York, even though, you know, New York, it was legal. They were living in communities where their religious leaders and their families and their communities did not allow them to have that kind of autonomy.
All right. We're getting some calls in here. You can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guests as well. I would like to ask the lady who just spoke a while ago, is prostitution legal in the Bahamas?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. You asked if it was legal? Prostitution?
Yes.
Prostitution is not legal. Sex work is not legal.
So if a woman has the right, are you advocating for that as well? If she chooses to go into prostitution,
yes,
that's
I do.
Against the law, right?
I do actually advocate for the legalization of sex work, but I think it's a separate issue. But I do advocate for the legalization of sex work.
She has the right to sell her body as well?
Yeah, I do believe that
so
sex
why
work.
is it illegal? Why are you fighting for that?
She says she does support that.
Right, but yes, she supports abortion. She supports the killing of her life. You know, there are laws that we, you know, and, you know, like Pastor Cedric said, you don't know who you're killing. You are killing perhaps the person who has the cure for cancer. Leontine Price, or I think, or Marian Anderson, she was a product of rape, and her mother was told by her relatives, you know, abort this baby, kill this baby. And she was the first person of African American descent who sang at Carnegie Hall. James Robertson, a very famous preacher, his mother was raped. You don't know who you're killing, miss. and blood is upon you. It may be you don't know what you're doing, and we all, like the pastor saying, these individuals need to know where they can get the help, because if that person had known where she could have gotten the help, she may not have thrown that baby out of the over the fence. So you miss, you need to get saved.
Okay.
So, I mean, in the same vein, you don't know if you're, birthing the next Hitler. I think that trying to make decisions based on what you don't know doesn't make sense. The fact of the matter is, I'm not advocating that everybody may have an abortion. I'm advocating for that being up to the woman. That's what I am advocating for. If you think that I'm encouraging everyone to go out there and get abortions, you'd be very wrong. Honestly, if it were up to me, we'd all have comprehensive sexual health education so that we wouldn't need abortions. People who didn't want babies would already have access to the knowledge and the contraceptives to prevent the pregnancy in the first place, rather than having to, deal with it.
Yep.
Deal with that, cross that bridge as they come to it, as they say.
Pastor Cedric Moss, I want to ask you something that Shantez Dillett Wilson said earlier. I mean, without legal abortions or access and avenue to them, that there will be people who, out of fair desperation, will likely make a very detrimental decision. What do you say about that? If we don't have an avenue for that we could be risking several more people's lives.
Right. I think Chester gave a very apt response to that, indicating that people make those choices even now, and even where there might be access for whatever reason. But what I would say to that is the mere fact that a person might make such a decision in settings where they are not able to access abortion does not then follow that the government should engage in passing legislation to kill unborn children simply because someone might do what has already been described. The two don't logically follow. They aren't connected. That is no reason for a government to say, well, because this person, if they don't have access to abortion, might go ahead and try to get an abortion in a harmful way. We should therefore legislate a culture of death in the country so that we can kill unborn children. And connected to that, Ms. Dillett Wilson said that it is her body and her choice. And think about that. How can it be the woman's body when it is the child that's going to die? If it was the woman's body, then the woman would die. The child has his own separate DNA, separate distinct body from the mother. And really, when you think of that particular position, the question then has to be to you, Ms. Dillett Wilson, at what point does that child in a mother's womb cease to be her body? At what point does it cease to be her body?
At the point that it is no longer housed in her body.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is that I object to the use of the word killing, but I think that we're not going to come to an agreement on that. The fact of the matter is that you are not obligated, and you should not be obligated legally to house that life, if you want to call it that, because at what point it becomes life is under dispute. But that is, I don't even think that that's a necessarily irrelevant conversation. You shouldn't be obligated to house that life in your body, and that's just the facts. And I think that people do understand this idea of bodily autonomy. They just simply don't want to apply it to this case. And I'll give another case scenario. If you were in a car crash, you were driving, and the person, your passenger, is in need of a life-saving transplant, are you legally obligated to, because it was your decision that put them in that position? Are you legally obligated to give them whatever that transplant is that they need? No, you are not required to detract from your own personal bodily integrity for the life of another person. if we are calling a fetus another person. So even if life, it is not, it is simply not your responsibility to sacrifice your body for the sense of that life. I argue that, and I'll argue that to the end. The fact of the matter is, it is the woman's body. She does not have to go through with that pregnancy. And like I said, bodily autonomy is inherently recognized within the Constitution, not explicitly, but in many of the ways that they talk about things like a right to not be tortured, a right to not to be enslaved. There is an inherent recognition at least 5 times throughout the it's acknowledged at least 5 times throughout the segments on the rights of the human, that our body is our own. We get to decide, make decisions for ourselves. Personal integrity, decision-making, autonomy, and bodily integrity. These things are inherently recognized. At the end of the day, we do have a legal obligation to protect that, even if it is a pregnant woman.
All right, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Hi, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome.
I agree with the young lady at some point. However, I don't agree with the prostitution part. But as a mother that carried babies for 9 months, if I'm raped, I don't feel like I should be forced to tote that the memory of that violation with me for 9 months. I should have the choice, or during counseling, to be say, okay, if you want to abort, then this is your choice. If you choose to keep it, then we can work with you. But that is a mental abuse to the woman to make her keep that baby. That is not fair. She should have the right to make that choice. Now, I would like the choice to be there for those who need it, those who just want to get abortion because they went out there and they cheated on their husbands, or they went out there and get pregnant too early and don't want their parents to find out. That's the cutoff point for me. But if somebody is raped, then they should have that choice. And I'm sorry, Pastor, but I don't agree with you. You know, like how you said, you explained to your daughter and your wife that they should, your thought on it is that they should carry the baby for 9 months. Think about the mental abuse on them.
Okay.
Think about that position that you just put that way. When they done born this child, they could just literally slip out, and then what? Because they killed that with them? No, that's not fair.
Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate your views. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller.
Okay, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No, okay. We got a lot of text messages. Wanted to see if we can get through a few of these. This one was a lot about us as well. They're asking Shantez if you are pro-vaccine for some reason.
What?
COVID vaccine. I don't.
I mean, yes, as in I've gotten the vaccine.
I think they're trying to make a point that we were being, nobody was forced to, but anyway, we were being led down the path where we were basically being forced to take these vaccines, and yet you talk about body autonomy. But I think they're taking a swipe at Guardian Radio because we've been seemingly pro-vaccine.
I see. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's an argument to be made, but I don't think that's what we're talking about today. But, I'll feel free to come on and argue the point another time.
Pastor Moss, do you get that? I know you have some strong views on the vaccine.
Did I get what?
What that person was hinting at, that this is all related, and if we're talking about body autonomy, then that should have been considered during those debates as well.
Yes, well, I see the point. I see the point on the vaccine with bodily autonomy. Yes, because that is a vaccine that's being injected into that person's body. I do believe that bodily autonomy should be respected regarding vaccines. However, as it relates to abortion, I disagree that a baby that is in the mother's womb is the woman's body. Again, the proof of whether that's her body is who gets killed, who loses his or her life.
That does not prove whether or not it's her body.
Let me finish. You indicated that you spent time in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the point at which abortion is allowed in New York? The final point where they can abort a baby in New York? Do you know the time?
I left New York coming up on a decade ago, but at that point, I think you were allowed abortion up to 16 weeks,
No.
maybe a little bit beyond that.
It is currently at the moment of birth. And that is really what you said. You said that you should not be allowed, you should not be forced to house that child in your body. And I asked you specifically, at what point does the baby cease to be part of your body based on your definition of it? And what you said was until the child leaves your body. And that's what they're doing right now. In New York, you can abort a child coming out of the birth canal at the moment of birth. That is the point where you can kill a child. And I'm saying,
I think that you are because an abortion is a termination of a pregnancy.
I allowed you to talk.
Let's get everybody to have their say. Continue, Pastor Moss.
Sorry?
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, the point is that the child is a child even in its earliest stage of development. And it matters not what that child is going to be or not be. The value is not in what the child contributes to society. The value is inherent in the child, that child has worth and dignity and sanctity, and that child deserves the most basic human right, which is life. You happen to have a child that is in you, but that child is not you. The child is a separate individual. And to argue that it is inconvenient for you to have the child in your body and therefore you can do whatever you want with it, that's a different argument that we can talk about. But to say that the child is your body is really, it's contradicting the reality, because
no point in time did I say that the child is my body. I said that the child is within your body and you are not obligated to keep it there. An abortion is the termination of the pregnancy.
Okay, let's get
now, if it dies as a result of its evacuation from the uterus, then that is an inevitable result of the termination of that pregnancy.
Okay, let me go to the point to say this. I fully support bodily autonomy. That is why I believe that those who do not want to take a vaccine should not be forced to take one. However, while a woman can do whatever she wants to do with her body, she should not be able to do that with the child's body. They are separate.
Okay.
We can ask Chantes quickly, at what point do you think it's okay to abort a child? Is there a cutoff point in your mind?
Truly, honestly, in my mind, no. Different advocates differ in this. And I do really want to draw a distinction for the listeners between how Pastor Moss is defining this. Abortion is the termination of a pregnancy, not necessarily the termination of the fetus and or embryo, because at some points that is not even, it's not even a full form fetus if you have like a medical abortion. The fact of the matter is, if the child is evacuated from, if birth is given or if it's in some way removed and it can live outside of the child of the mother's womb, and it does, that becomes a separate matter. However, the issue within whether or not a woman, should house once again a fetus within her body, I believe it should be her decision. Now, do I think, personally and morally that it's not a good thing to do? Yes, I do not think that you should at 8 months and a half, take the child out of your womb for reasons of convenience. At that point in time, that child could live outside of your womb. That's a personal decision, though. And, legally, I don't expect to get that level of legal protection. Where the cutoff is, like I said, 16 to 19 weeks is usually what most advocates push for, which is a reasonable amount of time for a woman to make a a good decision at the end of
Text here. This is for you, Pastor Moss. If you have a doctor who can prove to you that carrying this child to term will result in the death of the mother, do you feel in that situation an abortion is fine?
That's a very tough situation, and so that would be a very different matter than what we're talking about. And I think here's what I think is most important. We need to really talk about the rule and settle that before we talk about the exceptions. I mean, clearly, if it is certain that a mother is going to die, and I don't know what the circumstance of the child would be, but that would be a very different situation, because I think one of the things that doctors have the responsibility to do is to try to preserve life. And so I would not at all advocate for a doctor to say, well, just go ahead and let the mother die. That's a tough decision, but I believe the doctor should aim to preserve life. And so the mother's life should be protected.
All right, I want to take these calls. We only have
I just wanted to add on that legally provide for abortion in those cases. The penal code does allow for medical procedures that would result in the death of the fetus if it's determined that the mother's health is at stake.
Okay. All right. Let's take these calls really quickly. We're getting into our business hour, but we'll take a few more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, Dwight. C. Allen Johnson. Just one point I want to make. I just want to show you that prostitution is legal in the Bahamas already. Solicitation is illegal. And this was also brought up during a discussion with Wayne Monroe, QC, I think at the University of Bahamas discussion or something of that sort. And so, I know that's coming up as a discussion again, but there is no illegality to prostitution.
All right. We're going to talk about all of that on Friday. So
that's a very interesting technicality. I'll be listening.
Wow. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. Let's read just a few more messages in our final few minutes here. Women with psychological trauma at not having an abortion if there is some moral or ethical dilemma. It is more prudent to teach personal responsibility. Most women have, I'm not trying to understand what they're saying, but females need to be dissuaded from seeing abortion as the answer to irresponsible sexual behavior. Shantez, what do you say to that?
I say, and I hope that this is something that Pastor Moss can get on board with, that I think it's best case scenario if we don't have to resort to abortion at all. I don't disagree with that texter from the point of view that I do not think that abortion should be a first resort. Mm-hmm. I absolutely, and I said this earlier in the show, that I believe in comprehensive sexual health education. The fact of the matter is if we were all, well informed about our bodies, about our choices with regards to sex, I think that, abortion, I wouldn't say that it wouldn't be needed. And we've already talked about a number of situations where it might be needed, aka rape and, health issues in extraneous circumstances, etc. But even I think mistakes happen. Abortion may still be a last resort. I think that we would significantly reduce the need for abortion. And this has also been shown. Abortion rates will go down in populations of especially young people that have been exposed to sexual health and especially comprehensive sexual health education. And I say comprehensive from the point of view that it doesn't restrict that, education in many of the ways that a lot of schools do, especially here, not an abstinence-only approach. That's not realistic. An ideal for sure, but not realistic. It's it provides actual access to the types of contraception that it teaches the children about, and it teaches children about sexual positivity and how to have positive sexual and romantic experiences, not just how to avoid XYZ within sex. This kind of education has been continuously shown to prevent pregnancies, especially in young people. And quite frankly, if we're preventing pregnancies, then that's half the battle with regards to abortion, right? So I don't disagree with the texter in that regard.
Okay.
We should be more proactive. I think that's what it really boils down to. Let's be more proactive. Let's teach kids. Let's teach adults. Let's provide families with the planning that they need in order to avoid these situations altogether. Because at the end of the day, it can be a very stressful situation, regardless of which decision you end up making.
Yeah. One final call on this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Am I on the air?
Yes, you are. Welcome.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to say that I think, with all due respect, Pastor Moss is somewhat mansplaining things. I'm married. I have 2 beautiful children, and children are stressful. And honestly, if you are not ready to have children, mature enough financially, it can be a lot. And I think a lot of the reason why we have so much crime is because you have a lot of these children who were not loved. So we're seeing the back end of the problem. So, of course, in an ideal situation, abortion would be, not on the table. But if you are a young person and you are not ready emotionally to have a child, you're doing a disservice to yourself and to that child, because children need love constantly. And I really think that is a problem of why we have so much crime. These children were not loved.
Okay. Thank you very much. Pastor Moss, what do you say to that?
It's very difficult to respond to that other than to say there's no reason. See, here's the problem. The problem is that we're starting at the point of conveniences and what we're ready for and not ready for, but we're not dealing with it from a fundamental point of view. The fundamental issue is this: is that child in the womb worthy of protection and the rights that we have? Is that unborn, preborn, underdeveloped human being worthy of?
I can't hear from Pastor Moss. Is he still there?
Yeah, you just broke up for a second. You're back.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. I'm sorry. So what I'm saying is, I think we have to start at the point of fundamental rights. Does the child in the womb have the fundamental right to life? The child is a separate human being from the mother. Does that child have the right and deserve to be protected? Does a pregnant woman have the right to ingest alcohol and drugs in her body when she's pregnant? Does she have the right to do that?
Well, she has the right, but she shouldn't. She shouldn't. She shouldn't.
I'm asking Mr. Let Wilson, should the state interfere with a woman who wants to drink and use legal drugs in an abusive way in her body when she's pregnant? Should the state intervene?
I mean, when it comes to illegal drugs, I think you're
No, I said legal drugs.
Legal drugs.
Legal drugs and alcohol, but she's abusing them. Should she have the right to abuse them when she's pregnant?
Once again, the improper use of substances is, controlled substances, even if they are legal.
No, they're legal. Alcohol is legal. Alcohol is legal. Let's just confine to alcohol. Does a pregnant woman have the right to a pregnant?
And you're asking if the state should intervene.
Mm-hmm. I'm asking Ms. Wilson, does she have that right? She's pregnant, and she's.
I don't think that she should. No, I do not think that she should.
We agree she shouldn't. Does she have the right to do so?
Does she have the right to do so?
Should she have that right?
The fact of the matter. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I believe no, and I believe if she plans to carry that pregnancy to term.
No. That's her body.
If she plans to carry that pregnancy to term, and I think that there is a conditionality within that.
That's her body. According to you, that's her body. So if that's her body, she can drink as much liquor as she wants because that's her body. But see, it is not her body, and we should not allow her to abuse alcohol or any other drug when she is pregnant because she is harming a child who is not her. The child is separate from her.
I think that, once again, I added the clause if she plans to bring that pregnancy to term, because I think that context matters. You continue to bring it back to the principle, and I believe principles matter too, but I think that we live in the real world, and there's text within these.
Principles work in the real world.
The fact of the matter is, if she plans to bring that pregnancy to term, the effects that have on the child in life, I agree, she should not be able to do that. But the fact of the matter is that an abortion, a termination of pregnancy that does not result in a child, I believe that it is the woman's right to do that, because there is, no child afterwards that would be hurt by this, to use that for lack of a better term.
We are.
I want to just say thank you to the caller that called before, because she brought an important context about, the life of the child after birth. And Pastor Moss talked a lot about the dignity of life. And I think the dignity of life is not just about being able to live life, but it's being able to live a certain quality of life and have dignity within that life. And being born into less than ideal circumstances doesn't always result in poor outcomes, but I've said before that the lives of a lot of children that live in either poverty or in neglectful households, is something to be considered as well. So I thank you for bringing that human side, caller.
All right. Very quickly, Pastor. Yes.
Yeah. It is far better to live a less than to be killed. And so I think killing a child, preborn child, is worse than allowing that child to come into the world and maybe face some hardships. As you rightly said, Ms. Wilson, who knows what the outcome is going to be.
This is has been a fascinating discussion, and I hope it will open the door to more discussions like this. Thank you both so much for being here this morning, Pastor Cedric Moss and Shantez Dillett Wilson. Great discussion. Thank you again. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dwight.
All right.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yes, it's been our pleasure. And hey, that was part 2 of our Controversy Week tomorrow. Gun ownership, handgun ownership, should that be expanded in the country? We're going to get into that tomorrow. We're going to take a break and be back with Morning Blend Business. A lot to talk about. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises its customers in New Providence and the Family Islands that the corporation will commence mass disconnections beginning Monday, March 28, 2022, on all outstanding accounts and financial agreements. Customers who have not honored their financial agreements are advised to visit their local offices to update those agreements as soon as possible. And all customers are further advised to bring their accounts up to date to avoid services without further notice.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years with new ways to bank better. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future with new products and services and investment in the community, youth, and education initiatives. We are here to help you grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. This is Morning Blend Business. Getting a little bit of a delayed start, but we have a lot to talk about this morning, including some exciting things happening with BTC, and Stacey Mackey is back with us. Stacey, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
We're great. I apologize for the delay. We had a hot discussion before, but I'm glad to be talking with you this morning. This is some exciting things going on. Let's talk about it. What's happening with rates?
Yes. So today I am promoting a Save More with BTC. So right now, if you bundle your internet, which is your home internet, and your mobile, you can have huge savings just by bundling. So we do have what we're doing now is we've actually prepared a chart to show you how you can save by bundling. So, if you have postpaid with us already, you can just combine an internet service with us and you can save more. Okay?
Okay, so let's go through it. Let's go through it so people can understand what we're talking about here and why this is such a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. So, for example, if you look at one of the first plans, so if you'll pay $73.98, you would get 100 megs and 5 gig of data. Okay. So the 5 gig of data would be on your mobile, and then the 100 megs would be on your internet. You will actually save $969 if you compare what BTC is offering.
And that's over the year, the course of the year. Okay.
So that's exactly. So that would be your savings for the year.
That's a lot. You could get a fancy mobile phone with that money.
So that's a mortgage payment. Okay.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
That could be your Christmas bonus. That could be your mortgage payment. That could be a new device. Treat yourself to something good at the end of the year. But
that's right.
It is huge savings that you would get at the end of the year. And right now, everyone is looking for ways that they can, get more, save a little bit more. Things are expensive now. So you want to look for ways that I can get value, but still be able to get the best. We like nice things, right?
Absolutely. We deserve it.
Of course we do.
Yeah. All right, so that's a big one, and that's one of the basic plans there.
Yes, and that is one of the basic ones. So if you go further down, we actually do have one. If you get the $159.98, which is 150 megs plus 103 channels, plus the talk 24/7 calls to the US, UK, Canada, plus 15 15 gigs of mobile data.
Wow.
You would save $1,044.
Wow. Okay, and that's the big plan there. And then you also, as you say, compare it to the other guys, and that's huge savings.
And what we've done, Dwight, is, you can tell persons about the savings, but what we've done is we've actually shown you. Mm-hmm. So we've actually shown you exactly. We've done the comparison, so you can compare for yourself. So you know what we're saying? We're saying, compare and save.
Mm-hmm. All right. So is this a sale right now, or these are your set prices? This is what
These are our set price. So it's not a promotion that's going on. So showing you the difference, because a lot of times people ask, you pay a bill every month or you have a plan, but what exactly can you save if you were to bundle? And you have some persons, they say, well, I have this service and I have that service, but why not combine them together as, by bundling them, you can save more. So the savings that you're getting now, we're offering you the opportunity to save more by just bundling your services.
All right. All right, so let's talk about the devices that come with this. What you get when you do make the switch, and is there something that comes with the mobile aspect of this, with the bundle?
No, it depends, because we do have a lot of different packages. So right now, for new and existing customers, you can sign up for the $44.99 plan or higher and receive the TCL 20E free. You can sign up for the $64.99 plan or higher, and you can get a Samsung A12 free, okay? Or you can get the Samsung S21 as low as $399. So it depends on which plan that you want to go with. Now, most persons would say, I have a plan already, so I want to bundle by getting my internet. So by doing this, it means that we're giving you all the data, all the internet you want at half the price. So it means that if you're on the road, so let's just say I'm listening to Guardian Radio on the road on my device, and when I reach home, I want to come off my mobile, and then I want to switch to my home internet and save my data on my phone. You can do that with this plan by bundling the saving, because you would have internet at home, and then you would have your mobile data as well. So that's the beauty of the plan. In addition, we also have right now for our prepaid customers, you can, if you port over, and you get a 15, 20 or double data until May. Okay, so data is everything. We're always on the go. We always want to WhatsApp persons. We want to know what's going on. We want to check Facebook and Instagram. So, you don't even want to be without data.
No.
At this point now, you don't even really hear phone ring. You just hear message. So data is key. Data is key in the home as well as on the streets.
When the phone rings, something is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Because most people are just going to send you a WhatsApp. That's the thing. Yeah. And if they call you, they're going to call you WhatsApp. They're trying to make the most out of their plans, and you can't blame them for that.
All right. So say that again about the double data. That's going on until when? And who gets it?
That goes on until May. So if you with your prepaid, you get double data in the $15, $20, or $39 combo packages when you port into BTC. So great, huge savings there. I also want to remind persons that this Saturday we will be back at Gladstone Road Farmers Market. We had a great time last week, Saturday. Yeah. So we will be there again between 10 and 5 p.m. And please follow our Facebook page and our Instagram page, because we will be having something very exciting this weekend at our Southwest store. Okay, so let me just say, we're going to be having something very special, some gospel. I don't want to say it's a gospel concert, but we'll be having gospel hour. So please stay tuned for more information on that.
Wow. Okay. All right. So if you have landline now, still have landline, and you want a piece of this action, what are the bundles that are available to you?
Yes. So if you have landline, what you can do is you can combine a mobile package, which is a postpaid plan. You can still get that. So I will say to persons, you can come into any of our retail stores, or you can go on our website at btcbahamas.com, and you can see the comparison right there as it relates to what we are offering and what other people are offering. And then also you can call BTC, which is call CALL BTC, and you will get, you can ask any questions that you want as it relates to what plan or package that you would like to have.
And you can bundle everything, landline, mobile, and internet.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You can bundle everything.
Okay. All right. So, and savings in every single package.
Every single package, Dwight. Okay. Correct.
That is wonderful stuff. All right. So one more time, remind us about this weekend. You're following up on your successful Saturday, doing it again.
Yes. Okay. So last week we had Mega Fest. This week, we are back at Gladstone Road Farmers Market. A great experience, great shopping experience, great deals. There will be discounts on devices, as well as if you want to come out and sign up for the bundle, you can do that there at the same time. We will also have gospel hour at our Southwest Plaza store. So you don't want to miss that. And that's going to be between 12 and 2. Okay, you want some good gospel music? There you have it.
That sounds wonderful. Okay, we got a very specific question as we get ready to wrap up. Very specific. So they're saying if you have landline with BTC but internet with the other guys, and you want to switch, and your house has already been pre-wired, I guess, for fiber. What needs to happen? How quickly can you get it together to switch over to get the internet with you? And your TV services and mobile.
Listen, that is an easy switch. That is an easy, very, very easy switch. A lot of the areas now have fiber, so persons are transitioning to fiber. That was one of the reasons why we were in Gladstone Road last week and this week is because Gladstone Road actually has fiber. We've been going into different neighborhoods on Saturdays promoting our fiber. So all you need to do, like I said, is you can call us at Call BTC. And just let us know that you're ready for the switch. Or you can go on our website. You can do it there as well. Or you can stop into any retail store. Any retail store, you can have it done.
Okay. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
And how quickly can you get it? Like next day, 2 day? How does it work?
Yeah, I mean, Jen, I would say this because, it really goes according to first come, first serve, because there may be other persons that have signed up in front of you, but we are trying to accommodate persons as quickly as possible. So that's what, fingers crossed, you might be lucky and get it the next day.
Wow, okay.
So I would say this, don't procrastinate, okay? Don't procrastinate. Because sometimes we say we're going to do it and we're not sure, and then time passes by. So if you want to do it, you need to sign up as soon as possible so you can get it done.
All right, Stacey Mackey, you're always bringing great news, wonderful stuff, and we love your bubbly spirit. Thank you so much. This sounds like a deal you can't pass up. This is a wonderful opportunity. Thank you, Stacey Mackey with BTC, for talking with us and telling us all about this morning. Always a pleasure. Hope to talk to you again soon. All right.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. This is Morning Blend Business. A lot more to talk about, including details about the National Spelling Bee. Just days away now. You don't want to miss that. That's coming up. Stay with us.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Value-added tax collection has been holding steady, even with the government's reduction of the tax from 12 to 10%, so says Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkitis, explaining yesterday that the reopening of the economy and the tourism boom likely explains the positive trend. Halkitis speaking with reporters outside Cabinet, saying that it's still premature to contend that the reduction in the tax is doing what the PLP explained, that the VAT returns have so far only come in for January. He says it's the early days, being just March at the moment. But he says so far it's holding steady, and, quote, it does not appear to be any reduction in terms of what the government is taking in, which is consistent with what we had forecast. But again, it's the early days. Halkitis is hailing the strength of the economy since the falling away of COVID emergency orders and the pent-up demand for travel that's kept hotel bookings strong as a big part of the reason the government has so far seen revenue collection from VAT aligned with projections. Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, says she's created a special unit within her ministry to foster government and private sector collaboration intended to help grow the island's economy. Moxie responding to a recent protest by Freeport residents who called on the Grand Bahama Port Authority executives to place greater emphasis on getting the island's economy going again. She says she shares those concerns and noted the island has been going through quite a lot since the passage of Hurricane Dorian and with the pandemic. Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting receiving a demonstration on how drones can help to advance the agriculture sector in the country, as well as improve the efficiency of integration at Bluefields Farms. Dragonfly and Bella Wings Aviation showed a group of government officials and officials from the agriculture sector how drones can improve crop production through monitoring. They also showed how these very same drones could deliver a package of fresh greens from one point to another. Sweeting saying during his remarks that the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture continues to help his ministry carry out the vision of melding agriculture and technology in order to grow and improve the country's food production. And the Bahamas is in the top 3 of travel destinations for travel deals company Travelzoo's 15 million US-based subscribers or members for 2022. And of all the travel destinations in the world, the Caribbean is at the top of travel lists for a second consecutive year. Addressing the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association's recent webinar on the latest Caribbean travel trends, Caribbean Hotel lead at Travelzoo, Ariadne Barrios, saying the work the region has put in over the past year since the reopening of tourism has been paying off, even as stronger demand is forecast for the rest of the year. Overseas, France's government poised today to earmark millions of dollars worth of emergency aid for road haulage companies, fishing crews, and other professions battered by fuel price surges that are accompanying Russia's war in Ukraine. Prime Minister Jean Castex is expected to unveil a raft of economic assistance measures at a news conference. Fuel-guzzling transport companies are among those who say they're asphyxiated by soaring prices. Some are warning that their survival can only be assured if they pass on their extra costs to consumers through increasing prices on food and other essentials. Marketing on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 150 shares, closing unchanged at $39.95. Commonwealth Bank moving 8,546, up 18 cents to 282. Commonwealth Brewery moving 900, unchanged at $5.99. Finco moving 2,000, up 15 cents to $10. Consolidated Water unchanged at $2.03. Emira Incorporated unchanged at $11.57. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,251.22, up 3.08. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. This morning we're getting a preview of the National Spelling Bee, which is this weekend.
Yes, it is.
Our guest is from the Ministry of Education. She's the National Spelling Bee Coordinator, Celestine Cooper-Williams. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, and it's good to be here.
This is always exciting, the Spelling Bee. We see these unbelievable competitors and the can-do spirit and the not giving up mentality that they have. It's always encouraging. But here we are again. How long have we been doing this now?
This is our 25th year.
Wow.
Yes, 25 years.
Yeah, I feel like I remember the first couple ones. Yeah, so this has been fantastic. How many are taking part in it this year?
This year we have 21 contestants, 8 of them from New Providence.
Yeah. And from what I've been reading, history could be made this year. Is that right?
Well, anything could happen. But yes, we are expecting a very exciting competition.
All right. So what's happened for those who might not know? We've had something incredible happen for the past few years.
Yes, we've had one of our star spellers in the person of Roy Seligman.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually a 3-time champion.
Yeah.
And
this is the first time that's ever happened, right?
Yes, yes. And last year he went on to Scripps International. Started off with 109 or either 101 competitors. So he was in that bunch, and in the end, he came out 4th.
Wow.
Yes, and so we are so very proud of him and the accomplishment that he has had.
And he's back in it this year.
He is back in it again this
Going
year.
for number 4.
Going for number 4. But I'm sure we have 20 other competitors who are going to give him a hard run for his money.
Yeah, my goodness, this is amazing. All right, so tell us about the age categories, because this is his 4th annual run. Can you compete in it?
Well, actually, you are allowed to enter from as early as grade 4, and you can go up to grade 8 to the end of the 8th grade. But we have competitors who range from age 9 up to 13.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So he could go for a little bit then.
He can go. Yes.
All right. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we can expect this weekend and what you're looking forward to.
Okay, well, this weekend we are having a number of events that will lead up to the National Spelling Bee. Beginning today, actually, we have 3 teams of Family Islands who will be coming into New Providence, and then the remainders will come in on Thursday. On Thursday evening, we have our orientation session, and all of our events will take place at Super Club Breezes. On Friday, the contestants will participate in the first round of the competition, which is the written test. And on Saturday...
There's a written test too?
Yes, there is a written
That's
test.
always been there?
It's always been there.
Well, what happens there?
Well, they're given a list of to spell and write down. So they have to so the public knows about the part where they do the oral, where they stand on the stage.
Yeah.
But they also do a written test. Now, that test is separate and apart from the finals, but they do get a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place trophy for the persons who score.
Okay.
Yes.
So no matter what, you still will take part in the oral.
Yes, you still will take part. Yeah,
Right.
it doesn't eliminate you.
Right.
But that's just a part of it. That's round 1. So that will take place on Friday morning. And then on Saturday, this is where we are hoping that the entire New Providence can assist. We are going to have a motorcade, which will highlight all of our 21 contestants, because by then, all of our Family Island contestants will be in, and we will do a motorcade. So we're asking you to go out on the streets of New Providence. We hope to begin at 12 noon. We will be passing 2 of our major malls, the mall at Marathon and Town Center Mall. We will begin at Fort Charlotte and it will end at Super Club Breezes. So please, if you hear the horns honking or a little bit of music, that's our National Spelling Bee champions. And we want you to just take a few minutes and honk your horns. Just cheer them on, because this is a major accomplishment. Yes.
All right. So this is a full, exciting week for them.
Yes, it is.
And
yes,
I'm
it
sure
is.
this is a wonderful stuff. All right. So Sunday,
Sunday,
big day.
the 20th, is the big day at 3 p.m. in the Sea Breeze Ballroom at Super Club Breezes.
And what's the longest the competition's ever gone? How many rounds have we made it up to in?
Sometimes we go up to as many as 20, 21, 22 rounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, what can you tell us about? Do you have the names of everybody?
Yes, I
can
do.
That. Yeah. and
Would
what
you like
schools
for me
they're
to
from.
call?
Sure. Let's do
Oh.
that. Let's call them out. These are wonderful
Okay,
students.
awesome.
Let's celebrate them.
Yes, so Bahamas, these are the list of our 21 contestants representing the Abacos. We have Anya Hepburn. From North Central Andros and Berry Islands, we have Jada Adams. From South Andros and Mangrove Key, Ashton Forbes. Representing Cat Island and the South Central Bahamas is Shamaya Eugene. Representing Grand Bahama, we have two contestants. We have Janvi Bomanelli and Jonathan McMins. Representing Exuma, we have Cheston Taylor. Hailing from Eleuthera, we have Sohan Bryan. Representing the associate schools, we have two competitors. We have Jules Carey and Mariah Smith. We have three contestants representing our BAISS, that's our larger independent schools. We have Arav Balani, Roy Seligman, and Maria Sanchez. Our Catholic Board of Education have two competitors. We have Dante Pratt and Alejandro Asuama. From the Southern New Providence Secondary District, we have Kenaya Says. From our Northern New Providence Secondary District, we have Kylie Morse. Representing our Western New Providence Primary District, we have Shannon Smith and Marie Sylvester. And finally, representing our Eastern New Providence Primary District, we have Alex Duville and Anwar Roll. A total of 11 boys and 11 star girls who will be participating in our 22 National Spelling Bee competition.
That's excellent. Excellent. Let me ask you something. Are you getting concerned that the world is changing so much that people are discounting the ability to spell, that with the spell predictive text now, who cares anymore? Do you get worried about that the art of spelling and knowing words and the root of words, we're losing that art?
I am a little bit concerned about it, because I am a language educator as well. But I know that we do have a group of persons who understand that you have to have that foundation. That is important because when we want to meet the world, we cannot meet it with while our Bahamian dialect is good, we also need to know the standard English. We need to know how to speak it as well as we need to know how to write it. And so that is why I'm just so proud of this competition, because these young persons are so intelligent. When you listen to their grasp of vocabulary, it's just amazing. Just a typical conversation will blow you how many words these children know.
Yeah. Tap into some of the spellers from 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 15. What are they up to now? Do you follow up with them?
Well, actually, I haven't done much on it, but that is an excellent thing that I think the committee needs to undertake. But I'm quite certain that many of them have gone on to college because even as young persons, their future was already bright. Yeah. So I'm quite certain they're making waves in the world.
Yeah. And what else can we do?
Hey, Dwight.
Yeah, Chester.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out, where does the list of words come from?
The list of words is actually provided by Scripps International. So it is a list that everybody in the region that is connected to Scripps International use. And I just want to say that is the reason why we are unable to do the competition live, because the entire region will be using the same words. And so we can record it, but we cannot play it until after April 1st when all of the competitions have ended.
Oh, is that a new thing? Is that?
Well,
Because
yes,
it's been live in the past.
Yes, it
Yeah.
has. Just recently, Scripps has said to us not to do it live.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, look at that. Wow. All right. Well, that's
Are words repeated over years?
Sometimes we do have some of the words that do come back. We do have some words of the champion. Some you do have some, but in most cases, there are a whole list of them that are brand new.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. What can we do as the public to help you all with the spelling bee and to help the students with spelling? What can we do to help awareness of the importance of language, like you talked about earlier?
Yes. Well, actually, one of the things that we can call on the public to do is that we need to, first of all, we want to call on parents. We need the assistance of parents. Sometimes we think that education should rest solely on the educators, but we need to remember that education is trifold. We need the parents to help out the educators and the students themselves, and I'd like to also say that we need the assistance of the public. And so, firstly, if parents inculcate in their students the need to continuously be reading, because I believe if you are a reader, you will be a better speller and a better writer. So that is the first. And then
Well,
second,
some of these children need to see their parents reading too.
that is true.
They
That's
hardly
so
ever
true.
see that.
That is so true.
Huh.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the other thing is we want to say thank you to the public that has assisted us, and we want to encourage more persons in our corporate offices to assist us, because this undertaking is a very large one. Because while we do have two major sponsors in the person of the two major organizations, namely the Ministry of Education and Bahamas Power and Light, we basically rely on other sponsors to help us to bring the Family Island contestants in, house them, provide them with transportation, make sure that they're given meals, and now we have the added expense of paying for their PCR test and everything. Yes. So, if I can I mention some of the sponsors who have
please.
assisted? So we want to just say thank you to some of the sponsors who have helped us over the years. We have BEC Sporting Club, who always provide the T-shirts for our sponsors. We have Custom Computers, always bless us for our winner.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, Lightborn Trading. Sun Oil Limited is one of our newest sponsors. We have Cisco, Sun Isles Watch and Clock. And then I want to say a big thank you to Majestic Tours. They always provide us with transportation. They assist with picking up our contestants from the airport and wherever they have to go to the different functions. Majestic Tours does it. And then we have another new sponsor, McDonald's, and then, of course, Super Clubs Breezes. So those are our sponsors that help us to ensure that our National Spelling Bee Week is successful.
Yeah. Wonderful stuff. We got a text message. What, Chester? Adult spelling bee.
An adult spelling
We call
bee.
it Spelling Hornet.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to watch that one. This special message to you, Celestine. Hello to my Prince William schoolmate. Reverend Saunders would have been so proud of you, Celestine Williams. This is from Livette, from North Carolina.
Yes.
And you were always a rock star in languages.
Thank you, Livette.
Okay. Well, great stuff. We're looking forward to Sunday, and we wish
Yes.
all of these students all the best.
Thank you.
We hope we can have the winner on.
Yes.
Next week, that would be great.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yes.
Let
We
us
can
know.
arrange that.
All right, wonderful stuff. Celestine. Cooper Williams, thank you so much for being here this morning. Good luck again to the Spelling Bee contestants, and that's this Sunday.
This coming Sunday.
All right, wonderful stuff. All right, we're going to take a quick break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Glen Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Thank you.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we've got your final look at weather for this morning. We've got the remnants of a frontal boundary that's going to meander to our north, triggering periodic bouts of unsettled weather across portions of the northwest Bahamas. Meanwhile, a high-pressure ridge will build across the area and sustain moderate to fresh breezes across the country through tonight. So for today, for the northwest and central islands, variably cloudy, hot, and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the extreme northwestern islands, turning warm tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with a chance of a few light passing showers, becoming fair and mild tonight. Small craft caution in effect, especially for Atlantic exposures due to swells. And expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Highs getting up close to 90 today, up to about 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. We're expecting a weak cold front to skirt north of the area. That's going to allow some showers and thunderstorms to impact the northernmost islands. Then it's going to keep a warm weather pattern in place through Friday. That's your morning blend weather check. And Chester Robards, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We'll talk with you again next week. Have a great one. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.